If you're just joining us, welcome to Coors Field on an overcast and cool evening. The Rockies didn't have long to relish their first win since Thursday. They're right back on the horse in the second game of a doubleheader against the Arizona Diamondbacks after winning 12-4 this afternoon. Welcome inside Coors Field. Tom Helmer alongside Tracy Ringlesby and Mark Stout. And the offense in game one, if you didn't catch it, was awesome. 12 runs. 14 hits. They dominated the Arizona Diamondbacks, beating them, as I said, by a score of 12-4, and exercising a lot of woes that they had a problem with throughout the course of the road trip and even beyond that, especially with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and I think the guy that really came up that gives them a chance to now try to win back-to-back games, something they've only done once in the last 4 weeks. You look at that, you feel good about that, and they've won 3 in a row at home now, and they're starting to see the middle of that lineup come alive. That helps too.
I heard the cliche already from a fan. Did they save some hits and runs for game 2? There's the in-game box score from the first of 2, and you see 5 different starters had a couple of hits in game 1.
Carlos Gonzalez had a pair of homers. Third time this season a Rocky has had a multiple home run game. The other 2 guys being Jason Giambi and Todd Helton. You expect it, though, from Carlos Gonzalez. You expect him to provide that kind of power. He is the defending National League batting champ.
And, you know, you saw him start to heat up on the road trip. Then you come home to play Arizona. Ever since Arizona traded him, he has had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to want to try to show them something. He's hit 364 in his career against him. He's hit 418 this year. 12 home runs, more home runs than he's hit against anybody else. He's got a grudge, you know, and he just won't let go of it. He's like a dog with a bone, you know. He's going to hold on to that thing.
Dog with a bone.
And he's going to fight his way, and Arizona pays the price.
Tom, what we didn't all expect was that he would have 1 home run in the month of April and 13 RBIs. Well, 2 in the first game. He now has 7 home runs in the month of May. This is the cargo that we're all used to.
We're going to take a break here from Coors Field. When we come back, discussion about the guy that'll be on the hill trying to pick up the victory in game 2 of this doubleheader, Yolis Chacin. That's next. We've stayed relatively dry here at Coors Field, and that's good news when you're trying to squeeze in a doubleheader. Yolis Chacin coming out of the bullpen. He'll be on the hill for the Rockies, going for his 6th win of the season. He's coming off a complete game against Philly, the first of his career, even though the Rockies lost that ball game. If you take a look at starters that have had a minimum of 2 starts for the Rockies this season, Yolis Chacin's got the best ERA, and now is the best pitcher on this staff.
Yeah, I mean, you watched him in spring training with the confidence he had there and the way he went about doing his job. And the feeling was by season's end, he was going to emerge as the guy in the rotation that they were going to count on because his mechanics are just so smooth and easy. There's not a lot of extra motion, and he's got command of enough pitches.
And he's held NL opponents to a .205 batting average. Only 3 pitchers have a lower batting average against: Josh Johnson, Kyle Loesch, and Tim Lincecum. You definitely know 2 of those. Josh Johnson, of course, just went on the DL.
Chacin pitching well is going to become even more important as the season goes on. If you're just joining us today, Jorge De La Rosa left game 1 in the 3rd inning with a sore elbow. They did an MRI. The results of that MRI: complete tear of the ulnar collateral ligament in his elbow. That is going to mean surgery for him, and we will not see him again in a Rockies uniform for at least a year.
No, I mean, that's the Tommy John surgery. It's one of those things. It just takes you a year to come back from, but you can't rush it. You can't make everything go faster because you've got to first you transplant the ligament, you got to let it get strengthened, and you got to build your arm back up because your arm goes down to nothing. You're not throwing for a long period of time. It takes time.
Tough loss for the rotation, re-upped in the offseason those 2 years.
Yep.
I'm just talking to Cowboys saying, how about Clayton Mortensen? Sort of coming out of nowhere for Rockies fans, but now he's an even bigger part of the rotation. You can't expect injuries, but they happen.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. When we come back, we're going to get you upstairs to Drew Goodman and Jeff Houston for Game 2 of the doubleheader against Arizona.
Hill for the Rockies. They're in the purple uniforms here in Game 2 as they look to sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks and reestablish themselves at home. They're 12-10 so far at Coors Field this year, and they're 24-22 coming into this nightcap. The Diamondbacks fall to 23-24 as Ryan Roberts will lead things off for Arizona here in Game 2. He'll be followed in Kirk Gibson's lineup by Kelly Johnson. Saw Johnson in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter. Chris Young will bat 3rd. Stephen Drew did not play in Game 1. He's back at his familiar shortstop position. Xavier Nady, Miguel Montero. Sean Burrows getting the start at 3rd base. Gerardo Parra, and then Joe Saunders And Chacin has glowing numbers, 5-2, 2.70 ERA. In his last outing, he went 7 innings in Philadelphia, got another victory, gave up just 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 9, a season high, and walked only 1.
Yeah, lowered that batting average against the 205.
Which is 4th best, Huey, in the National League. And the first pitch over for strike 1 to Roberts.
And you think there would be a big discrepancy, maybe right-handed to left-handed? Lefties are hitting 205, right-handers 204.
He's just tough to hit. I mean, it's that simple. Chacin throws a breaking ball real early in the ballgame. That's the curveball.
The number of strikeouts that he's getting, that tells you that the hitters don't pick up the baseball very well. And part of the reason is the slider and the curveball.
And a weak ground ball to third. Wigginton with a fancy pickup. 5-3 if we score with this at home. Here's the Rockies defensively. Cargo, Dexter Fowler, Spilborgh's in right field against Joe Saunders, the lefty. Wigginton at third, Tulowitzki and Alfredo Amezaga up the middle. Jason Giambi for Helton at first base, and Jose Morales has the gear on. 1 out, and that'll bring up Kelly Johnson. Remember, Johnson last year got off to a phenomenal start, and really most of the year the best offensive second baseman perhaps in baseball. And this year, just a 190 average.
Well, that's part of the reason why you see Ryan Roberts playing so much over at second. Today he's out in the outfield, but with Kelly Johnson's numbers where they are, getting a lot more starts there.
High fly ball center field, well hit. Fowler going back. This one's going to get out of here. A home run for Kelly Johnson, and no doubter to center field. That thing landed about 3 evergreens back. And a 1-0 start for Chacin. The 7th home run he's given up this year.
I was just watching Dexter Fowler on this ball. When the ball was hit, he took about 4 or 5 steps back and stopped. Belled high fastball over the middle part of the plate, the extension, the follow through, everything, you name it. You name it a home run for Kelly Johnson.
So the Diamondbacks break on top. They did that in game 1 as Chris Young looks at ball 1. Diamondbacks led 3-0. And the Rockies came storming back, winning going away 12-4. 17th come from behind victory for the Rockies this year. And the second time they've come from 3 runs or more down in 2011. Well, Kelly Johnson now 4 for 13 lifetime against Chacin with a couple of home runs. Slider swung through by Chris Young. It's 1-2.
That's the oldest trick in the book.
Maybe the oldest trick in the book, but it still works. Somebody has placed that cup with gum on it on top of his head, and he doesn't know.
Yeah, but when you have the hoodie on top of the hat, that's easy to do. He has no idea.
He's happy, though. He's munching seeds. Is that Willie Bloomquist? Looks like him. Here's the 1-2. On the ground is short. Tulowitzki. Got to hurry with Young running. 2 outs.
I can understand a rookie.
Yeah, why are they doing it to a veteran?
I'm not sure.
Willie started at shortstop in the first game.
Kirk Gibson went with his right-handed lineup in the first game, his left-handed lineup in the second game.
Stephen Drew at the plate. He takes strike 1. So, you know, and it's got good stickum on it because, you know, he went over and congratulated Kelly Johnson. High five.
A lot of movement.
Yeah, a lot of movement up and down the stairs. No movement with the cup, though. That's a strike also. 0-2. Chassin on May 4th beat Arizona, allowing just 2 runs on 3 hits in 7 innings. Struck out 6 in that ball game. Here's the 0-2 in the dirt.
They've given him 4 wins in his first 6 starts.
.60 innings coming into this ball game, only 45 hits allowed. Here's the 1-2 to Drew. 2-2. And with the injury now, the significant injury to Jorge De La Rosa, he'll need Tommy John surgery. Torn ulnar collateral ligament, the UC ligament. Everybody's got to step up. High fly ball to right center field. Spielborg's waiting. And that's it for the Diamondbacks. They get a long home run to center field from Kelly Johnson, and they lead it 1-0. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. By the new Quest 5-year price lock promise, visit quest.com/promise for details. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Willie Bloomquist, and now the Inquisition. He figured it out.
Who has the biggest smile on their face?
Kirk Gibson just walking away.
It was you. I know it was you. I'll get you. I'll get you.
Nobody's giving it up. Alfredo Amezaga, switch hitter in from the right side. Thought about a bunt. 1-0 facing Joe Saunders. Second start this year for Saunders against the Rockies. Solid in his first outing. 3 runs in 6 innings, 6 hits. He walked 3. This is a bouncing ball deep in the hole. Drew on the move. And the pick at first by Nady. That's a great play by Stephen Drew.
And once Sean Burroughs dove for that, I wasn't sure if Stephen Drew was going to be able to get to it. Burroughs dives. And if that ball would have hopped one more time, Stephen wouldn't have been able to make that strong throw. But the pick from Xavier Nady surprised me a little bit. Numbers for Joe Saunders, not good. 0-5 with the 5.02. Right-handers are hitting .329 with 6 home runs off of Saunders this year. Has not gone past the 7th inning through his first 9 starts.
Dexter at the plate. Dexter had another triple in the first ball game. Back-to-back ball games with a triple. Fowler with 4 this year. He led all of baseball with 14 last season. And his triple on Sunday came from the right side against Randy Wolf. And here's his triple from the left side earlier today. And this is on the ground, cut off by the third baseman, Sean Burrows, and he throws the first 2 outs. Here's the rest of the Rockies lineup presented by Southwest.com. Jim Tracy will have Carlos Gonzalez and Troy Tulowitzki 3 and 4. Then Giambi with 4 home runs on that road trip. 4 home runs in 24 hours, in fact. Ty Wigginton will bat 6. Spielborg 7. Morales 8. And Yoeli Chacin naturally will bat 9. Cargo in the first game, a couple of home runs. He drove in 4. And he takes strike 1. He's 4 for 14 lifetime against Saunders. Saunders has thrown only 1 ball game at Coors Field, a forgettable outing from his perspective. Last September, he went 2 1/3, gave up 7 runs. 3 were unearned, but that's still a bunch. 5 hits. He walked 4. It was an early exit.
Kind of goes along with this theme. His last 13 road games versus National League teams, 1 and 10.
That's not what they were looking for when they traded Dan Herron to the Angels.
Well, remember, Joe was supposed to be the opening day starter, at least early on in spring training, but he pitched so badly that Ian Kennedy got the nod.
Yeah, they moved him way back in the rotation. In the air to left field. Ryan Roberts is out there, the versatile one. And it's a 1-2-3 start for Joe Saunders. We'll go to the second with the Diamondbacks ahead 1-0 on the Kelly Johnson home run. Here's McDonald's Big Mac Smack. Take a look, game 1. Carlos Gonzalez with the Rockies trailing 3-0. Now it's 3-1 as he hits one off the facade of the second deck. 400 plus feet away. He did another Big Mac Smack later on in the ball game with a man aboard. Text McD to 720-720 and get 1 free Egg McMuffin or Big Mac with the purchase of any drink, valid at participating McDonald's. I'm loving it. Well, Xavier Nady led off the inning, and he hit the first pitch on the ground to the left side. Ty Wigginton threw him out. 1 gone. That'll bring up Miguel Montero. And Montero takes a strike. He first saw Yoeli Chacin in winter ball in Venezuela. He said the first time I saw him, I'd heard a lot about him. And he said I saw the ball pretty well against him. He said, I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the fuss about? And then he said I saw him last year and I went 0 for 4 and I started to realize what the fuss was all about.
I didn't pick up the baseball. He's 23 years old. He has an idea of how he wants to pitch. At that time, he was only 22. Pretty big fuss, but now he's going to have some bigger shoes to fill with the injury to De La Rosa. Not that he has to go out there and try to pitch any different or be any different, as far as how he acts on the mound, but he slid up into that number so-called 2 spot in the rotation.
And here is Sean Burroughs. He had a good at bat, pinch hitting in the first game, lined out to deep left center field. Carlos Gonzalez chased it down. Not in the big league since 2006 with Tampa. And he admittedly said he reached a real dark place while he was away from the game. Been very candid about it. And about a year ago, he said, I got to right the ship, get my life together. And during that period of time, he wanted to see if he could still hit a baseball. And he had a tryout last year on the West Coast, I believe at UCLA, for about 5 teams. And of course, Kevin Towers has history with him. And he saw he could still swing the bat, offering him opportunity to play on the ground to short. And now he's back in the big leagues after tearing up AAA with Reno. 1-2-3, second inning. 1-0 Arizona.
Enjoying their dinger dolls. It's something you can get when you're here at the park, as it's 1-0 Arizona as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And Arizona manager Kirk Gibson said after game 1, he said, you know what, this is time to buck up in game 2. He said, especially in a doubleheader, that's the last thing you want to have happen is your starting pitcher to only go 4 2/3 innings. They had to use 5 relievers in that ball game. He said, now it's time for the rest of us to step up and be able to try to get this starting pitcher, Joe Saunders, deep into the ball game, guys, and try to get the win in game 2.
That's the second time today Tulowitzki could not have hit a ball any harder, and all he gets is a trot back to the dugout.
Yeah, he lined out to left field in that first ball game, and this ball almost took off the head of Stephen Drew at shortstop.
Here's the big man, Jason Giambi, who had quite a road trip. He had 3 home runs in a ball game last weekend in Philadelphia for the first time in his career. And then the next day, Milwaukee hit a bomb.
The difference was that one in Milwaukee was the opposite field. That takes power.
Sure does. 0-2 on Giambi.
There was no doubt about the 3 in Philadelphia.
No. Second oldest man ever to produce a 3 home run game. Only Stan the Man was older. 40-year-old Jason Giambi turned 40 back in early January. Two and two. Giambi kept the bat back, so it's 3-2. He didn't offer it the slider.
Well, that's a good thing about Saunders. If you're left-handed, there's not anything that's overpowering that scares you. Fastball is 90 to 91, and the slider is more of a big slurve than it is a sharp breaker.
High drive, deep right field. Giambi has done it again. And we're all even at 1. I'm reminded of that famous line from the literary world. The reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
Well, and that is the case for Jason. I just mentioned a moment ago that Saunders has nothing that scares you, even left on left, and that was a hanging breaking pitch in Jason's wheelhouse.
He either saw it great out of his hand or he sat on it.
I think he saw it great out of his hand because it was just spinning up there.
To second base, and Kelly Johnson will throw out Ty Wigginton.
I was just afraid as high as that was, though, it might bring a little bit more rain.
Not yet.
Watch from the Ultramo. That right hip clears just enough to get that barrel down through, but he's still able to hit through the baseball.
What I'm wondering is when Giambi's going to throw out a double. He's got 6 bombs, 9 hits. He's got 3 singles, 6 bombs. How about mixing in a double?
No.
No?
No.
You're okay with this?
I'm okay with the bombs.
Okay. 421 lifetime home runs now for the Giambino.
Because if he hits doubles, then he has to run hard. If he hits them out, he just jogs.
Yeah, that's a strong point.
You can get hurt when you run hard.
So now he just has to jog to first. It's close when you're at home. And then jog around the bases. Line drive, right field line. And Spilborgh's making the turn, heading to second. Parra gets it back in. A 2-out double for Ryan Spilborgh's.
This ball was in on the hands of Ryan Spilborgh's. Montero wanted it in, the ball was in, but he pulled the hands in and kept the barrel going where he wanted to. And then Parra made the play off that wall. We've seen that ball skip on that wall and keep hugging it and go down into the right field corner.
Jose Morales at the plate. Pitch misses, ball 1 on Jose.
Well, we've seen some managers in this situation with the pitcher on deck just walk the 8th place hitter.
Well, you do it later typically, not generally in the second inning, but we'll see how careful he is with Morales. And, you know, Kirk Gibson saying, okay, 8-hole hitter, and a guy who gets limited time.
Now, maybe if it goes to 2-0 or he feels Joe Saunders has been around long enough over 4 years in the big leagues that he can issue the unintentional intentional walk.
Ground ball to short, and Drew has it, and he throws out Morales. Spilborgh's left at second, but the Rockies get even. The big man strikes again. Jason Giambi with his 6th bomb of the year, 5th in less than a week. Time for the Excel Energy high efficiency inning. Last inning for Yoeli Chacin. Xavier Nady, weak ground ball left side. Miguel Montero would follow with a ground ball right to Jason Giambi. And then a ground ball to short off the bat of Sean Burrows. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Giambi with his 6th home run of the year. He's done that 38 at bats. Last year he had 6 home runs for the season in 176 at bats, which is still pretty sound. Gerardo Parra takes strike 1. That just missed. Mark Wegner's behind home plate. He got to watch the first ball game. There's a doubleheader. There's a policy. The home plate umpire in the first game will have the second game off. There'll be a new guy behind the plate in game 2. And it's Mark Wegner's turn. So it's 2 balls and a strike now. Chris Caccioni's at first. Mike Everett, the crew chief's at second. Mark Ripperger is at third. Parra is 0 for 7 lifetime against Chacin. And he swings at a slider. He's way out in front of him. Maybe wondering about Justin Upton, who plays virtually every day for the Diamondbacks. Kirk Gibson said, well, let me look at the numbers here. 0 for 10 lifetime against Chacin with 8 strikeouts.
Good time to say, well, just have the night off at least to start with and sit by me right here.
Tulowitzki, fastball to Giambi. 1 out. Let's take a look at our minor league report. It's presented by Suzuki Auto's all-wheel drive lineup. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Well, in Colorado Springs, Ian Stewart hit another home run, his 2nd since returning to AAA. Ben Paulson 3 for 5 with a home run and 3 ribbies for AA Tulsa. Josh Rutledge, 2nd-round pick out of Alabama, was 4 for 7 in a slugfest for Modesto yesterday. And Bryce Massonari's had a really good year for Asheville. He's a little bit older. He's out of the University of Georgia.
Yeah, but it seems like every time we're doing the minor league report, his name is on there.
1 ball, 1 strike on Saunders. Tell you what, a couple guys at AAA Colorado Springs, there's a few guys having really good years offensively. Rex Brothers and the bullpens have had a great start. He's striking out almost 2 hitters an inning, and that's a guy that's been discussed quite a bit on our airwaves. This ball bounced toward the hole. Nice play by Giambi on the move. He's able to find Chacin. Pretty play.
Yeah, so Brothers has 43 strikeouts and 23 in the 3rd. I'd say that's pretty good. And this is pretty good as well. Jason Giambi going to his right. Little jump throw over to Yolis. And Yolis really broke it down and didn't run too hard. Saw where the throw was, catch it, knowing that the pitcher's running, and then go step on the base.
2 outs. Ryan Roberts, who grounded to 3rd, is at the plate. A couple other guys in AAA that we should mention. Eric Young hitting above 350 with 16 stolen bases and 17 attempts and a bunch of extra base hits.
That's on base percentage 452. That's the number that jumps out for me.
Yeah, he's walking quite a bit more than we remember him walking in the past. Charlie Blackmon hitting 342 with a lot of power numbers, and he's stolen 11 bases. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs for Charlie Blackmon.
He's a good-looking athlete out of Georgia Tech, and he is hit at every level. And he looked good in the spring.
He has a very nice 2-strike approach. And it's something that's tough to teach.
And the 1-2. Tulowitzki's going to glove it. And he throws a 95-mile-an-hour heater across the diamond. 8 in a row set down now by Chacin. Today's E470 Road Ahead brought to you by E470. Find E470 on Facebook for details on how to win free tolls. Arizona's here for a couple of more night ball games tomorrow and Thursday, and then the Cardinals come in. The Roosters bunch, 6 o'clock Friday, 5:10 Saturday. And on Sunday, a 12:30 pregame start before the Rockies head west to Los Angeles. Chacin at the plate, takes ball 1.
Remember Saturday, special start time, 5:10.
One, and that's tacked on foul. 1-2. Strike 3. And Chacin is gone. That'll bring up Alfredo Amezaga with 1 out. Amezaga was thrown out on a nice play in the hole by Stephen Drew in the bottom of the first. 1-1. We've had 2 home runs. Kelly Johnson, a home run for Arizona in the first, and Jason Giambi, a towering home run over the auxiliary scoreboard, hand operated scoreboard out there in right. We've got tacos. Fans, don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies Taco Special. Now, that's a steal, and want to point out a lot of folks have tweeted in and on Facebook wondering if what happens if the Rockies throw out another 7th spot here. Well, it's the same day, so you already take care of for tomorrow, and then hopefully the Rockies not only do that again in the second game. There won't be
No, but you still have
special.
Yeah, you still have your tacos.
You already got them tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow the Rockies take care of you for Thursday. And just an ongoing thing,
yeah,
right?
So for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, take you right into the Memorial Day weekend.
All right, you don't have to do any cooking.
No,
you got to grill at some point. It's a tradition. It's part of being.
But you can have hot dogs, hamburgers, and tacos.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Off the end of the bat, Dexter Fowler. He grounded to third his first time. In the hole. Oh, Drew is in. No way. He may have had a chance if he pulls it cleanly out of his glove, because obviously Dexter runs very well, but it was hit so hard. But once he double clutched, he had no shot.
He dove, and he did the hard part, was just making that play, and he tried to flip it up out of his glove into his hand to try to get a quicker release on it. Heck of an effort from Stephen Drew just to dive and knock that ball down, to even think he would have a shot of throwing to first base.
Cargo at the plate. Hit a fly ball to left field in the first.
Saunders does not have a particularly good move over to first base. Three times over. I'm gambling, Drew. I'm going to take off first pitch, or first movement, excuse me. As soon as he comes up, I'm gone.
you know what? He may have had that intention, and Saunders still froze him. He made a first move, and then he made a move back.
Well, when things aren't going well, stealing bases like hitting or pitching, your confidence isn't where it needs to be. The other thing, too, though, is Jim Tracy could have put the stop sign on him. Said, I don't want you to go with Carlos up the way he's swinging the bat. Because even a guy that might have a green light, the manager can still stop you. And fans, don't forget the St. Louis Cardinals come to town May 27th through the 29th. I've already said it once. I'll say it again. The May 28th game has a special start time of 5:10. That's a Saturday ball game. Get your tickets today.
Here's the 2-1. This ball right to center field. And Dexter's going to cut the bag and head to third. Boy, does he hit the ball hard.
That was loud. That was just as loud as that home run he hit in the first game.
That thing was smoked.
Listen to this, folks.
Hey, the second base umpire, Mike Everett, he ducked.
Kind of froze him. Where do I go?
Look out. Here's Tulowitzki, who hit a frozen rope right at Stephen Drew his first time. That's strike one. Rockies trying to go ahead here with 2 outs in the third inning. That's a strike, 0-2. You know you're at Coors Field when you hear the Tulo chant. Coors Field or Chase Field, where earlier this year we heard the Tulo chant. A reminder, text Toyota followed by a space in the 6th inning, top of the 6th, and your comments and questions to 720-720 for Toyota Talk. We'll give you a subject in a moment. That gets by. Here comes Dexter. Throw to Saunders. Does he have the baseball? He does.
Oh, I thought his foot
plate.
got underneath.
Out at the plate, and Saunders is still down. Dexter Fowler is down also. Jim Tracy's arguing he just got thrown out by Mark Wegner, and you still have 2 bodies down. Tracy's irate. He's already gone. Trainers are coming out. Dex is up and okay. And Arizona's starting pitcher, Joe Saunders, is lying on his back. Meanwhile, Tommy Runnels is going to handle the rest of this baseball game from the Rockies' perspective. Well, I didn't even see it. All I saw was Wegner threw him out. I mean, he wasn't out there for 6 seconds.
But watch Dexter's foot as he goes in and where Saunders tags him.
Tracy goes out saying he's safe. What?
That's
How did he
quick.
get thrown out that quick? He's pointing to the corner of the plate.
Maybe he thinks he's showing him up.
Relax, it's not about you. 1-1 ball. Here's the 1-0 to Kelly Johnson, and the slider's high. It's 2-0. That's the first ejection this year for Jim Tracy. Joe Saunders made his way to the dugout. Nobody's up right now in the Diamondback bullpen, so we're assuming he's okay to continue. And that's in there on Johnson. 2-1.
That is good news, because the way he went down and was laying on his back, I'd like to see anybody be injured.
3-1. Let's look at that play again. It was very, very close.
So Dexter's foot.
Tag, foot on the corner of the plate. I mean, it was really close. That's a strike. He may have gotten that toe in there. I mean,
but notice where he tags him way up high. You think maybe it's on his knee. Well, that's what happened. Joe hit the side of his head. Watch Joe, once he makes his tag, he flips over the top of Dexter Fowler and hits his head on the ground. I think that's what Jim Tracy was arguing, that the tag was way up on the hip.
Watch Saunders' face down into that hard dirt, and he got shaken up. Apparently okay again, because there's no action in the bullpen. Johnson reaches on a walk. He's the only guy to reach. He has a home run and now this walk, and that pitch is in there to Chris Young for a strike. That snapped a string of 9 in a row, or 8 in a row I should say, set down by Chacin. So Tommy Runnels will run the ball club.
He also has to run the running game, which he normally has.
And you're referring to defending the
running game, yes. Where he relays the signs to the catchers. And do I want to throw over? Do I want to pitch out, slide step? All of this different moves are involved to keeping a running game close. Kelly Johnson has 6 stolen bases, has not been caught this year. But that's nothing new for Tommy. Tommy's a former manager and managed a number of years in the minor leagues, and those guys do that all the time.
And that's a base hit to left. Pitch that was too good, 0-2. And now the Diamondbacks have 2 aboard, nobody out. Time for our AT&T trivia question. Jose Morales has 195 career at-bats without a home run. Who's the only active position player with more career ABs and no home runs? Kicking around topics for Toyota Talk with the terrible news that De La Rosa is going to have Tommy John surgery. Obviously, one natural question is who fills his spot. Aaron Cook, by the way, is scheduled or eligible to come off on May 30th off the 60-day disabled list. He's made a couple of rehab starts in Tulsa, both solid outings. He's with the club right now before heading back to make another rehab start, because Chacin and De La Rosa started on the same day. Chacin will go again on Sunday. One on Stephen Drew, and a line drive center field. Dexter got a good read on it, and tagging up and moving up is Kelly Johnson. First and third with 1 out. And that'll bring up Xavier Nady, who drove in a couple of runs in the first ball game.
Just kind of looking at the pitching as we move forward. You mentioned about just seeing Reynolds will be Saturday, Baldo Friday, Mortensen, Hamill can come back next Monday. But then it depends on where you want to try to slide Aaron Cook in. But he needs to make one more start down in the minor leagues before he would be able to come back.
Yeah, so he would not be able to start on Monday. The Rockies will need a starter on Monday in Los Angeles. Unless I'm calculating wrong, am I?
I think you are, because Hamill can come back because he's pitching on Wednesday.
Yeah, you're right. Hamill can go on.
Hamill can go on Monday. And Clayton Mortensen on Tuesday, and you're fine with Reynolds sliding into that fifth starter spot on Saturday.
So assuming everything checks out with Aaron Cook, that would be the natural place to go. 1-0 on Nady. I should point out also, give you a little injury update. Talked to Esmil Rogers this morning. His lat feeling much better. He was throwing a bullpen today.
It's good news.
Yep.
But he'll have to go out on a rehab.
Yes. And depending on what the Rockies want his role to be, Jeff, will also determine how long that rehab is, because if they need to lengthen him out to where he can start again, it's a longer process. Now, if you're getting him ready to work an inning or two, it can be a little bit of a shorter process.
But my guess now with De La Rosa, that you're going to need possibly another starter.
Yeah, good block by Morales. That's not an easy pitch to block. Blocking the fastball. Not something you expect when you're a catcher, is the fastball to be short of 60 feet 6 inches.
No, and it's about 58 feet. And it's a lot like an infielder when you get that in-between hop. The short hops are easy to pick. The longer ones are easy. But that one, it's in between. You throw your body down and hope it hits off your chest and you're able to smother it.
Two 2-0 on Nady. Defense set for 2. Now this is 12:30 this afternoon, and there's Esmil. I told you he was throwing a bullpen today, and looks like he's letting go of the baseball pretty good there.
Well, once he goes out on his rehab, too, pitchers are different than position players. They have 30 days to complete their rehab once they start.
Out in front of the plate, and actually a foul ball. 2-2. Did that hit Morales on the noggin?
Yeah, I think right over the top of the head.
I got it. Where is it? The mask comes off.
He's ready to go get it.
Here goes the mask, and I should have left the mask on. 2 balls, 2 strikes
Easy
on
for
Nady.
us to say.
Would be a bad time for Chassin's first strikeout of the game. He averages in his young career, he's just 23, 8.8 strikeouts per 9 innings, which, I mean, you're striking out a hitter an inning. That's always going to put you among the league leaders.
Well, even falling behind 2-0, he's come back with 2 breaking pitches.
2-2. Real close. 3-2.
That looked like a strike.
Looked like a strike on the forward strike zone also.
Mark Wegner got locked up on that one.
Did Jim Tracy come out and get thrown out again?
Nope, can't do that. But Chris Young will probably take off at first.
He's going. This is a double play ball. It's going to work out. There's one. And Giambi couldn't handle the throw, and it's going to cost the Rockies a run. And it was a short hop. Jason tried to hang with it. And it's a shame because even with Young going, the ball got hit in the perfect spot. So Kelly Johnson, who moved up on that fly ball, scores the go-ahead run.
But Troy, his footwork was off just a little bit just because of the way he caught it. You would like to step on the bag with your left foot to get a little bit of momentum behind that throw. But with Young where he was, Jason couldn't come up with the pick.
Miguel Montero at the plate. He grounded to first. This ball's well hit to center field. Fowler going back, and he will have a play. In the inning, there was a walk, a hit, and another run for Arizona. They're up 2-1, middle of 4. Network and DirecTV viewers from Clayton, New Mexico. I know we and the Rockies really appreciate your support. And as we tell everybody when we welcome them, send us a message on the Root Sports Facebook page. Let us know your favorite place to root for the Rockies. Say hello to Clayton, New Mexico. Troy Tulowitzki will get back up to the plate. He was up with runners at first and third last inning. The ball got past Miguel Montero, and he made a good feed to Joe Saunders. Bang, bang play at the plate with Dexter Fowler trying to score on the play, and he was called out. Jim Tracy came out and argued. He was tossed very quickly by Mark Wegner. So either he said the magic word, or Mark Wegner didn't like how demonstrative he was in pointing to home plate, and the place where he thought the foot touched the plate prior to the tag.
It's the 27th time a manager's been ejected this year in the big leagues.
Got to ask the Cowboy for a reference point. Cowboy, is that a high number 2 months in, or about right? You have any idea? Cowboy has all the answers and just shrugged his shoulders at me. I can't believe it. This ball is popped up left side. One out, and that'll bring up Giambi. Take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Giambi's been stealing these every night. 3-2 hanging breaking ball, and Giambi got it. Towering home run to right. His 6th of the year, 5th in the last few days. 9 hits this year. He's got 3 singles, 6 trots around the bases. 5 home runs, last 12 ABs. And he gets another breaking ball there.
Well, we have the Cowboy up in the booth. Well, we need to give a shout out to Doug Moreno, guy, stats man up here, recuperating from back surgery. Dougie's
feeling a lot better. We chatted with him earlier. In fact, Doug was instant messaging us during the first ball game, doing a wonderful job as always. Doug, feel better. Hopefully you'll be hiking soon and skiing next winter. It's just off the plate. Saunders dropped down a little bit.
Dropped down. Low 3/4 from Saunders. Figure why not? He hit a home run off me last time.
And he just did it again if it stays fair. It's not going. That's about 15 rows back in the second deck. Foul by, it turned out to be a considerable margin.
Okay, a hanging slider for a home run. That was a curveball that was yanked foul for a home run. I would be shocked if they threw him anything but a fastball away.
He dropped down again. And he threw a heater away. 2-2. Would you say Giambi's in a pretty good place offensively?
Yes.
And it hits off of one of his big old arms, and he's going to go down to first base. So Giambi at first, and Ty Wigginton will come up.
Saunders is saying that's better than a home run or 4 bases. I'll just give him 1.
Wigginton bounces it up the middle, and that's a nice play by Robert. Excuse me, not Roberts, but Johnson. He flips to Drew, and it's a 4-6-3 turn. Rockies are done in the 4th. We'll move to the 5th. Arizona leading 2-1. in the world. Vinny Castilla on Rockies All Access. Take a look back at Vinny's career with the Rockies and how he continued to play to last winter in his native Mexico. And you'll also see how he gets to the ballpark. Good man, Vinny Castilla. That's 5 p.m. on Thursday night. Rockies All Access. Sean Burrows will lead it off against Yoli Chacin. And this is a big chopper. Tulowitzki coming quickly. Burrows doesn't run all that well, and it's 1 out.
So Troy came in with both hands because it came up a little bit higher. Make the transfer easier to throw to first. Right off in front of the plate. Troy, watch where he buries his head. Really looks it into his glove. Gets the transfer all in one motion. Makes the throw.
Strike one on Parra. Parra grounded to short his first time. .94-mile-an-hour fastball misses 1 and 2. If your windshield's cracked or is in need of repair, call 303-287-5000 or visit safelight.com online. 1 and 2 on Parra. Ground ball to Wigginton. 2 outs. Left side of the infield's been busy. It's 5 chances for Tulowitzki and 3 chances for Wigginton. Geico quote of the day, Luis Gonzalez to a despondent little leaguer. How many people were at your game? 20? Yesterday I dropped a fly ball in front of 40,000. Don't worry about it.
But to that little leaguer, 20 people seems like 40,000.
Yeah, you're right. Two on Joe Saunders.
Saunders said, wait a second. You throw me a breaking pitch like that, and you have a bat in your hand.
Diamondbacks have 2 runs and only 2 hits.
One of the runs they scored was via the walk, the leadoff walk to Kelly Johnson last inning.
2 and 1. Sixth inning, Toyota Talk. That's coming up next inning. Can't squeeze it, so another opportunity for Joe Saunders. This is one of the longer at bats of the game for Arizona. Chacin, I know he has that 1 walk and it ends up costing him last inning. Kelly Johnson would come around, but he's really thrown a lot of strikes in this ball game. He's had good command of his fastball. Here's the 2-2 and the slider, and that's strikeout number 1, and it puts down the Arizona Diamondbacks in the 5th inning. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th. The Rockies trailing 2-1. Rizzo with today's Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Lana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. Jim Tracy watching this ball game from his office after being ejected earlier in the game. But after game one, we talked to him about the offensive performance his team had in game one. 14 hits, 12 runs, and collectively a very nice effort. Jim Tracy said, you know, we were getting contributions from the top to the bottom of the lineup. He liked the way that his team did not expand their strike zone. He liked the way that his hitters certainly were working ahead in counts. He said, you know, we have a very good offensive team in that clubhouse when they do things the right way and work it the right way. Certainly hoping that that momentum carries over to game two as Tom Runnels, the Rockies bench coach, is managing the rest of this ball game, guys.
All right, Alana. Troy Tulowitzki will look on as his teammate Ryan Spilborghs, who doubled in the second, leads off the fifth. Para, one out. Colorado Lottery replay. Here's the punch double down the right field line off the bat of Spilborghs in the second inning. Unfortunately, it came with 2 outs. Ryan was stranded at second. Don't throw away your non-winning scratch tickets. Replay every ticket in the Second Chance Drawing at ColoradoLottery.com.
To further Alana's point, too, 5 guys had RBIs in that first game. Just the hits, it was RBIs up and down the lineup.
You get 6 from your 2 big stars in the middle. You're going to win. You better win every time.
And the only guy that did not have a hit in the first game was Todd Helton, but he had the sac fly.
He was robbed of a would-be single by Xavier Nady. Joe Saunders pitching a lot better in this ballpark than he did the first time he was here. Mentioned he didn't last long at Coors Field last September 10th. 2 1/3, gave up 7 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks. Every once in a while, he kind of gets a little passive on the mound, and his pitching coach, Charles Nagy, who's a very good pitcher in the big leagues for a lengthy period of time, will get after him.
But that's the way Charles pitched. He was an aggressive pitcher. Charles did not have overpowering stuff, but he got the baseball, knew what he wanted to do with it, and went right after the guys and kept his defense involved. You fall behind too much, your defense falls asleep.
This is rolled to third. Burrows. And the throw is up the line a little bit. Nady takes care of it. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Chacin. This ball game's moving along. Rockies with just 1 run. That came on the home run in the second. Well, in game 1, the Rockies got a ton of offense. Troy Tulowitzki was involved. You saw Smith involved. There's a triple from Dexter Fowler. He had a couple of RBIs. Fargo, a couple of home runs, including 1 to dead center field. He had 4 RBIs. Hit the center field pretty well. Chris Young has to retreat about 15 yards, makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 fifth. 2-1 Arizona. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. And by the Colorado Lottery. Don't forget to play. Top of the order for the Rockies next inning, but first the top of the order for Arizona here in the top of the 6th inning. Ryan Roberts, a ground ball to third and a ground ball to short. Talking to folks with the within the Diamondbacks organization, and said, all right, who's the team MVP so far? Arizona started the day before getting beat up in that first game at 500, 23-23. And they said probably J.J. Putz, 12 saves, 12 chances out of the gate. Ian Kennedy has pitched very well to lead the rotation. And then in terms of position players, it may be this guy at the plate, Ryan Roberts.
Well, he started at 3 different positions for the D-backs. Hit in a lot of different spots in the lineup. Has 7 home runs, hitting .285. 22 RBIs from a guy that you thought was going to be more of a utility player.
I need to go out and make the team first in spring training. 3-1 on Roberts. Joe and Aspen wanting to know if it's not going to be a platoon. I mean, Helton's going to play the majority of the time, and that's the way it should be, because it's nothing against Giambi, but Jason's on a great run right now, but he's going to pinch hit. He's going to play. He's going to be the DH in interleague games, and he's going to get a spot start here and there. But you know, Todd's having a great year. He's been their steadiest offensive player, and his glove at first saves them countless runs. Ball 4. A leadoff walk to Roberts, and the last time that happened, it burned Chacin. Kelly Johnson, who's coming to the plate, when he walked in the 4th inning. And you know, there's no way to determine who makes what play. And I think Tulowitzki, if he did it all over again on what should have been a double play ball, probably would have taken a little more time on that throw to first.
Cleared himself just a little bit more.
The ball was in the dirt, and it was kind of an in-between hop. But again, Giambi's not out there like Helton, doesn't have the hands that Todd has. Maybe Todd makes that play, and we're talking about a 1-1 game right now.
The other thing is Jason's left-handed, so he's trying to pick that backhanded. Todd's left-handed, so it's on his forehand side. That's the other thing that goes into it. But still, you've only scratched out 1 run against Saunders, a guy that's 0-5 with the 5.02 ERA coming into the ballgame.
You're right. Now it's 2-0. So Chacin's fallen behind in counts, which he really didn't do for most of this game.
Overthrowing just a little bit now.
2 runs on 2 hits for Arizona. Rockies have a run on 4 hits. Rockies won the afternoon affair 12-4. Johnson a little bit late on that slider. Swung over the top of it. Giants in Florida later on tonight. Again, the Giants had a 3.5 game lead to begin play today, so it's 3 right now.
Is it Matt Cain tonight for the Giants?
Yeah, Matt Cain's going for the Giants. Ricky Nolasco is going for Florida. That's a good pitching matchup. 3-1. Josh Johnson for Florida is on the disabled list with the shoulder issue.
Now, he was down about 7-8 miles an hour on his fastball. That was their first clue. Wait, something's not right with him.
A lot of people, if you could take one starting pitcher in baseball, Josh Johnson before the ailment would be the pick of a lot of guys. This ball well hit to left. Gonzalez going back, and he's not going to be able to make the catch. And Roberts going to get a green light. The throw coming in is not going to be in time. Kelly Johnson drives in the third Arizona run with an opposite field double. So Johnson, a home run, a walk, and a double. And here comes Bob Apodaca to visit with Chacin. Nobody out in the 6th inning.
Well, Kelly Johnson had not been swinging the bat well, 190 average coming in, but the swings he's taken tonight, more like Kelly Johnson circa 2010. 3-1 count. He just rides that fastball over the head of Carlos Gonzalez. Like a right-handed swing, the way it just backspin and kept carrying.
Pitch count's fine. Pitch count's been really good tonight. The scoreboard's not now. It's 3-1.
Yeah, because if you can get Chris Young and keep him from moving the runner over to third, possibly walk Stephen Drew to set up a double play with Xavier Nady right on right. It is sad to see De La Rosa out for the rest of the season.
It's not just that, folks. When you have to have Tommy John surgery, it's a calendar year, and sometimes then some. So unfortunately, it's unlikely that the Rockies will see at the big league level Jorge De La Rosa much before late May or June of 2013. This is pulled foul. Excuse me, 2012. Tough day for Bob Apodaca, learning that news in between games. But if you want to look for inspiration, look to the team that comes in over the weekend, the Cardinals, who lost Adam Wainwright and co-ace with Carpenter, Chris Carpenter. That's a strike, 1-2, to Tommy John surgery in spring training. And everybody said, well, there goes the Cardinals' hopes of fending off Cincinnati in the Central or even Milwaukee. And again, there's a ton of baseball to be played, but through the first quarter of the season or so, they're at 29-20, leading that division by 3.5 games. And looking up on the scoreboard, they play in San Diego tonight. And they put Kyle McClellan into the rotation. He's been fabulous.
Basically, deal with it.
Exactly. Swung on and missed. There's your strikeout of Young that was much needed. So Johnson's still at second. And Stephen Drew coming up.
The ability to throw hard breaking pitches to get the strikeout is what Yolis was able to do with Young. But to go back to De La Rosa for a second, there's nothing you can do about it. You can sit here and whine. You can say, oh, poor us. But you've got a game tomorrow, and you've got to figure out something moving forward because the games keep going. They don't just cancel them because you got a couple injuries, and you're going to miss a guy for a year.
That's a strike on Drew. And the reality is, yes, you hope that your key guys, your star players, stay healthy for the most part through a season, which naturally is going to give you the best opportunity to play in the postseason. But again, the reality is people get hurt, and there are teams that have outstanding seasons even after a significant injury.
And now
is it Greg Reynolds? Is it that has to step forward and join the rotation? Is it Aaron Cook, who again is eligible to come off next Monday? Cook would be the natural, you would think.
And now it's up to Ubaldo to go out. He pitched great in his last outing.
Yep.
Okay, but he needs to go out and win now. That's the final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, Jason Hamill's thrown the ball exceptionally well. Clayton Mortensen, surprisingly, only because the Rockies made a trade for him. It wasn't a high-profile trade. So far, he's done a really fine job. Here's the 1-1 ground ball down the left field line. That's going to get another run home. Drew's going to head to second with a double. It's 4-1. As Stephen Drew just bounced one down the third base line. And both walks have really burned Chacin. Leadoff walk to Johnson in the fourth. He scored. Leadoff walk to Roberts here in the sixth. He has scored.
And Stephen Drew was tardy on that swing. And even where Ty Wigginton's playing, that's exactly where you want to play. You do not think a left-hander is going to hit a ball down the line. You take away that 5.5 hole with the left-handed hitters.
Nady hits one in the air to right center field. Drew will move to third, 2 outs. And Miguel Montero will come up. Four runs, 4 hits for Arizona. A run on 4 hits for the Rockies. Still a lot of time in this ball game. Offensively, the Rockies have 12 outs to work with. We had to really like how things set up for game 2 after the Rockies exploded for 12 runs in the opening game against Colementor, who hadn't given up a run as a starter. And you have Chacin, who's just pitched beautiful baseball, against Joe Saunders, who's winless with a 5+ ERA.
And a right-hander's hitting well over 300 against him. So on paper, it looked perfect for the Rockies. And the thing with Saunders is he's still going to have to be out there for a little bit. Arizona went through their bullpen pretty heavy in that first game.
This ball's hammered. This is going to get another run home. Miguel Montero with a double. That's the third double of the inning. And it's 5-1 Arizona.
And now you might have to get somebody up into the bullpen.
I don't think there's any question you do. All of a sudden, Arizona squaring up baseballs. I know it was an opposite field double off Stephen Drew's bat, but he got the barrel on it. Kelly Johnson earlier in the inning with a smash off the left field wall, and Montero hammers this pitch.
Well, Montero can hit. He went down and got that ball, drove it to the right center field gap.
Matt Belisle getting up. Sean Burrows at the plate.
He's at least starting to get a little frustrated out there. He's wiping his brow. He threw up his hands a moment ago.
Burrows fouls this off out of play. It's a ball and a strike.
Now the pitches stack up. He's fine up until this inning.
Off the plate, 2-1. Rockies again will have the top of the order next inning. They're going to need a significant rally. They came from 3 down in game 1 today to win 12-4. They're down 5-1 right now. And on the ground to second. Meziga has it. 3 runs in the inning for Arizona. 5-1, middle of 6 at 20th and Blake. Morales, as in Jose Morales, 196 career ABs, no home runs, who's the only active position player with more at-bats and no home runs. I have no idea. Huey, you have any idea?
It used to be Reggie Willits for the Angels.
It still is.
Still is, okay.
834 career at-bats.
I know those guys because I was one of them.
You busted out and hit 4 in one season.
I know.
What were you doing?
I don't know. When they expected it.
It's the worst thing, right? Well, the Rockies need to get after Joe Saunders here. This is the third time through the lineup. Alfredo Amezaga, ground ball to short, and a comebacker. Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez to follow. Joe Saunders winless this year. And he's up 5-1. He hits the strike zone with the first offering. And that's a strike. And Amezaga is gone on 3 pitches.
If fans, you come to Coors Field, you can upgrade your game experience in the Mountain Ranch Club. It includes credit for food and beverage. Call 303 Rockies for more information. So yeah, tomorrow, folks, if you come back out there waving like that, Drew and I will be up in the Mountain Ranch Club televising tomorrow's ball game from there.
Eating and occasionally talking about the ball game.
You will be eating a lot.
Here's Dexter Fowler, and this ball is lifted to right field. Parra has an easy play. 2 outs. I mean, the Rockies have not done much with Joe Saunders, and the at-bats have been pretty quick.
Especially lately, these last 3 innings, other than the hit by pitch by Giambi, then Ty Wigginton immediately hit into the double play.
The last guy to have a hit's the guy standing in the batter's box, Carlos Gonzalez, who smoked the ball to center field in the 3rd inning to put runners at first and third. And that inning ended on a would-be wild pitch. Got by Montero about 15 feet. He scrambled back. Dexter broke for the plate. He fired to Saunders, and again, it was a very close play at the plate. Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire, called Fowler out. End of inning. Jim Tracy argued he was tossed out of the ball game. First time he's been ejected this year. Here's our Colorado Lottery replay of it in the 4th inning. Ball gets by. Here comes Dexter, and there's the tag. Very close. That's called a strike back live. 1-2. The Rockies' only run came in the 2nd inning, a 1-out Jason Giambi home run. Tracy didn't even get to argue long before he was tossed. Swung on and missed, and spiking his helmet in frustration is Carlos Gonzalez. That's an individual and collective sign of frustration. Time for our Cooney Lexus look back in the first inning. Kelly Johnson hit a ball well over the center field wall. Chassin didn't even look. He knew the result of that, his 6th of the year. Second inning, Jason Giambi hit his 6th of the year to tie it at 1. Things have not gone well since then. A 3-run eruption in the 6th inning, and Kelly Johnson was in the middle of it again. An opposite field double, drew an opposite field double. And then Miguel Montero, a double to the right center field gap. You get the picture. It's 5-1 Arizona. It's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. And Chassin gets a swing and a miss from Gerardo Parra, leading off the 7th inning. Man, that was a disappointing offensive inning for the Rockies. You talk about quick and quiet.
3 pitches to Amezica, 1 pitch to Dexter Fowler, and 4 pitches to Carlos Gonzalez.
2 punch outs and a pop fly. Here's the 0-2. And it's held by Morales. So Parra is gone. That's strikeout number 3 today for Yoeli Chassin. Home Depot doing more on defense. This is game 1. Nady with a couple of runners in scoring position. Fists one up the middle. Tulowitzki grabs it, does a pirouette, and throws to Helton for the out. To put down the inning. Nice job. Doing more on defense. Brought to you by the Home Depot. Joe Saunders. Yeah, the Rockies, again, we're talking about how things are set up. You never know how they're going to play out. But if you're sitting where Kirk Gibson sits, he's like, man, I got to get some length out of Joe Saunders, whose bullpen was heavily used in that first game. They didn't fare well. They gave up 7 runs on 9 hits. Gibson could smile now. And keep in mind that Juan Gutierrez had to leave the ball game with a shoulder ailment, so he's obviously not available.
Yeah, and a guy in Saunders who had not gone 7 innings in any of his starts this year.
He touched the 7th inning, never able to get out of the 7th inning, and he's cruising along. This so far has been his best start of the season. Couple walks as you look at the Arizona box score. It's really hurt Chassin. Leadoff walks. Roberts, a leadoff walk last inning, would score. Almost a 100th pitch thrown by Chassin.
Roberts 1 for 6 in his career against Yolis.
Yeah, and Huey, Arizona came in winners of 6 straight before losing 12-4. 8 of 10. They've been doing it at home primarily. They're 16-10 at home, just 7-14 out on the road.
That's the 3rd worst record out on the road, trailing only Houston and Milwaukee.
Unfortunately for the Astros, they haven't been very good at home either.
Well, it's that closer spot. That's where they've had trouble. Giving up a lot of runs in the 8th and 9th inning of the Houston Astros.
Milwaukee, and we know this to be true, having just spent a weekend there. Milwaukee struggles on the road, but they've been outstanding at Miller Park.
17-6 at home versus 8-17 out on the road.
Washington beating them right now 6-3 at Miller Park in the 6th inning. Earlier today,
Levon
Atlanta
Hernandez
beat Pittsburgh. Levon's on the hill, yeah. 2-0. Atlanta beat Pittsburgh earlier. Cincinnati snapped that 6-game losing streak as they beat Philadelphia 6-3 earlier. Chassin strikes out Roberts, a 1-2-3-7. Tulowitzki to lead it off, 5-1 Diamondbacks. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. And by AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. Rockies running out of outs. They have 9 outs to work with, trailing by 4 runs. After 14 hits, 12 runs in game 1. Just a run on 4 hits here in game 2. Tulowitzki, a line out and a pop out. And Tulowitzki didn't offer at the curveball. It's in there at the knees.
Miguel Montero behind the plate has been able to get Saunders to throw different pitches in different locations. And his ERA when he's catching is pretty good overall.
And this is an easy play at third for Burrows. 1 out. Let's check in with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
All right, guys, thanks very much. Here at Root Sports, we love to connect with the fans. And there was a question that was posed from Matt in Lakewood about how the Rockies pick their walk-up songs, their at-bat songs, whatever you want to call it. Well, Camden Kelly is the pretty much the in-game entertainment coordinator, and he basically gets all of the songs from the players on opening day. The players pick the song, and they pick the exact clip that they want to have when they walk up to the plate. Now, you can change them as many times as you want. Some players, like a Todd Helton, will stick with his the entire season. It's Jason Aldean, My Kind of Party. And then you have Dexter Fowler, who has 4 different songs. And then he made a joke about Paul Phillips. Remember Paul Phillips, the backup catcher for the Rockies? He had 6 walk-up songs, guys, and Camden Kelly joked with him. He's like, are you even going to get 6 at-bats in a season? So the players get to choose, much like the starting pitcher picks the jersey for the day. The players get to pick their songs, guys.
All right, Alana. Next time we run into Paul Phillips, we will have to give him a hard time about that.
Remember, Troy already changed his walk-up song.
He changed it after the first 2 days. He went back to Bieber, right?
Yes.
2 outs. Giambi smoked that ball at Kelly Johnson. Ty Wigginton at the plate. Rocky's last hit was the 3rd inning. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 outs in the 7th. Wigginton is 0 for 2. That's one of the perplexing things about the Rockies this year offensively. You have a ball game like the first game, and all fans are thinking, all right, here's Here it goes. Offense is really going to get on track. You got Joe Saunders, who's been pedestrian at best this year, going in game 2. You're at your home ballpark, and Joe Saunders has been fooling him left and right. This is well hit to right. He's got a chance to get out. It will. That's a home run. Ty Wigginton goes opposite field, his 3rd home run of the year. And it's 5-2.
And the first home run for Ty opposite field. His other 2 had been to left and left center field. Wasn't sure if it was going to have enough height to get up and over that taller auxiliary scoreboard and right. And it just kept going and hit right off the top of it.
Spilborg's trying to bunt his way on to create some traffic, fouls it off.
Great look from the Ultimo camera, going over the top of the wall. Fan had an opportunity to catch it.
They hit the railing.
Yep.
And Spilborg's looked like he went. We'll check it with Chris Caccioni at first. He did. It's 0-2. Spilborg's a double and a fly ball to right field.
Saunders fell a little bit that last pitch. Spike probably caught in the dirt, threw him off balance.
Yeah. Rockies have hit 5 home runs in this doubleheader. You understand what I mean, though, Huey, about this offense, how perplexing it is. I mean, you got Joe Saunders again that, you know, you figure you're going to be able to get quality hacks off of him, and you got to feel pretty good after that first ball game offensively.
It kind of happened in Philadelphia. You had one game where you didn't get a whole lot of hits. The next game you bust out for 7 runs. It happened in Milwaukee.
Wondering where the follow-up is. The situation where for a week you kind of roll offensively.
And that's what puts you on winning streaks. Those 6, 7, 8 game winning streaks. And especially against a guy like Saunders, when his numbers have been out on the road. Won all season long.
Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Well, if Morales can reach, Jose Lopez has come out in the on-deck circle. Esmerling Vasquez pitched an inning in the first game. He actually was about the only guy to come out of the Arizona bullpen and have success.
Well, just 1 inning, gave up a hit, couple of strikeouts, only threw 16 pitches in that inning.
Huey, did you know that we've added almost 5,000 Facebook fans and Twitter followers since we launched Root Sports on April 1st? That's right.
Impressive.
Yep, help keep up the trend by following Root Sports, myself, Tom, and Alana all season long. For more information, find us at RockyMountain.rootsports.com.
My son follows you on Twitter.
I love your boys.
So keep tweeting.
There's a strike on Jose Morales. Tell the mayor that I follow him on Twitter as well. It's fouled off. It's 0-2. Morales, a ground ball to short and a ground ball to third. What else has been interesting? I guess you put that in quotations. This year, the Rockies have been on the short end of scores where the other team has a bunch of runs and not many hits. This ball line to right, a base hit. And Spilborg's is going to go first to third. And the Rockies are going to get the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
A little bit like the ball that Ryan Spilborgh's hit in the 1st inning, where he just stays behind the ball and hits it to right field. Jose Morales does the same thing. Easy read for Ryan, 1st to 3rd. A chance for Jose Lopez.
Jose started the 1st game. He was 2 for 5.
This is his 3rd pinch hit appearance this year, 0 for 2.
Out front, 0-1. Lopez and Saunders have history from the National League, or excuse me, from the American League West.
They're just 9 for 41 going into the game tonight with 1 home run.
One ball and 1 strike. You know the trick. If your windshield has any damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000. Online at safelight.com. Matt Belisle will be next for the Rockies. Chacín goes 7 innings, gives up 5 runs on 5 hits. 5-2 the score. And it's 1-2 on Lopez. Way out front on those breaking balls. There's the career numbers we just spoke of.
And look for Saunders to go back out again away from Lopez. Whether it's going to be a changeup or a backdoor breaking pitch. Maybe a breaking pitch, they're going to try to bury.
Cued toward the hole. Johnson gets there, and he gets Lopez by half a step. A game of inches. 5. Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam. Fowler trying to score on a pitch that got away, and he was called out. The tag by Joe Saunders. We've watched it now half a dozen times. It's very, very difficult to tell. And then, of course, Jim Tracy was thrown out arguing about it. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Jose Lopez stays in the game at third base. Ty Wigginton moves over to first. Giambi comes out, and to me, unless I'm missing something, there's got to be something maybe not quite right with Giambi, because you want him in the ball game, because I assume that in the 8th and 9th inning, they're going to go Hernandez and puts, or even if they leave Saunders out there for another inning. Giambi has a home run and a bullet to second. You want his bat to be swung one more time.
Yeah, and the pitcher spot was just used that last half inning, so it doesn't make sense. You're not gaining an advantage by doing a double switch.
Yeah. We'll see if something happened with Giambi. Kelly Johnson at the plate. He's been a pain in the neck today, especially for a guy who came in hitting a .190. Home run, walk and a run scored, and a double and a run scored. He's driven in 2. He scored 3. He won't score this time. Gone on 3 pitches. Chris Young coming up, 1 for 3. We haven't checked our Quest high speed pitch yet. Brought to you by the new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. Saunders 92, 94 for Chassin. So Chassin goes 7 innings, gives up 5 runs, all of them earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 critical walks, both led off innings, and both guys ended up scoring. Talking about the Rockies on a few occasions this year have given up runs, and you look up at the hits and it doesn't seem like they should have given up the number of runs that were on the board. I mean, Sunday's a perfect example. They lose 3-1. Jimenez throws a 2-hitter.
What did he do? He ended up walking a guy, and then there was a sacrifice. He hit a batter, and then the one swing. And throw in the air by Dexter Fowler, they score 3 runs.
Who wants tacos, fans? If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies do as they did in the first game, score 7+ for the Rockies taco special. Text the keyword taco to 720-720 from our friends at Taco Bell. 2 outs. Stephen Drew an RBI double in the 6th. 1-1. If that ball was another foot off of Lopez's bat, Jeff, toward that hole, it's a 5-3 game. You got Dexter Fowler coming up. There's a base hit for Stephen Drew. Pulled his hands in and got enough wood on it to direct it to right field.
But it's a game of inches. Fans, you want to join the Rockies on May 29th, a game against the Cardinals? You can do it for Military Appreciation Day. Please arrive early for the celebration to honor our military. Call 303 Rockies for more information, or go to ColoradoRockies.com to get your tickets for a very special day.
Xavier Nady at the plate. I thought that Kirk Gibson may get David Hernandez up and tell Joe Saunders, job well done, 7 strong. But that's not the case. Maybe it's because Saunders has done a pretty good job against the top part of that Rockies lineup.
Well, you got a Mezica, and then he's thinking about Carlos Gonzalez a couple doors down, even though he has a hit off him tonight, struck him out his last time. He might be trying to build a little confidence into Joe Saunders as well.
Down the right field line, it's going foul. Drew goes back to first. Matt Reynolds, who threw the 9th inning a couple of hours ago in game 1, getting loose. That's from Miguel Montero, who's on deck.
Well, the good thing for Matt Reynolds, he only threw 13 pitches. He's still young, has the bounce back arm.
Healthy respect in the Rockies dugout for the bat on deck, Miguel Montero. He can really swing it.
We've just seen what he's done at both ballparks. A guy that's been known for his bat, for his defense, and really just took the job away from Chris Snyder.
Well, he's improved a lot defensively, though. We qualify it this year. He has thrown the ball all over the parking lot. He has 8 errors.
You and I did a double take when we were writing down some notes before the ball game, saying that had to have been a misprint.
I went and checked because I thought there's no way.
I looked at it up at a couple different places. A catcher with 8 errors.
1 and 2 on Nady, and Belial will check out Drew at first. Rockies in the bottom of the 8th will have a Meziga, Fowler, and Gonzalez. Top of the order. 6 hits apiece. Unfortunately, the runs are not even. 5-2 Diamondbacks. 2-2. And a base hit. And you're going to see Tommy Runnels come out to the mound. Montero coming up with 2 on.
Yeah, you can't let this game get any further out of hand. So 5-3 or 5-2, you're still in striking distance.
So Matt Reynolds will come on to face Montero in a 5-2 ball game with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And we'll step aside for a moment. Tech Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Joe Saunders outpitched Yoli Chacin, and the Diamondbacks with a 3 spot in the 6th inning. And right now, that's the difference in this baseball game. Giambi hit a solo home run for the Rockies. Ty Wigginton, a solo home run to the opposite field. So Miguel Montero back live is going to step in against Matt Reynolds. He's had a real good first couple of months, and he's the only left-hander right now in the Rockies bullpen. Of course, that's subject to change. Rockies are going to have to make a roster move, you would assume, after the ball game, with De La Rosa suffering, if you missed it, a torn ulnar collateral ligament. And for those of you who are saying, what does that, it's not something I'm familiar with, you are familiar with the term Tommy John surgery, and that's what's going to be awaiting Jorge De La Rosa, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a complete tear too. That's, you hear it sometimes it's partially torn. You could try to rehab it so you don't have to have the surgery. There's no way around it if it's a complete tear. More than likely, as you mentioned, Drew, it means that a reliever is going to come up.
On the ground to second. Meziga will throw to Wigginton. And Reynolds once again does his job. He gets the left-handed bat, Montero. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, top of the order for the Rockies. 3-run game. Play. This is from game 1. Jorge De La Rosa in the 3rd inning. Something was bothering him. Jim Tracy, Keith Duggar come out, and he said, my elbow feels tight. They had him throw another pitch, watching, and he kind of grimaced a little bit, and he walked off. He was throwing his fastball, folks, around 92 miles an hour, which, you know, is plenty of fastball, but he gets an MRI after the ball game. Justin Upton is in the ball game in right. Parr has now moved to left. Burrows comes out, and Roberts moves from left field to third base. And after the MRI, it was announced by the Rockies that there was a complete tear of the UC ligament, which means Tommy John surgery. This ball is well hit by Meziga, but Parr is out there, 1 out.
Well, hopefully there's not too much swelling in that elbow for De La Rosa where he can have the surgery sooner rather than later. If there's swelling, they have to wait till that goes down, and sometimes that can take 2 or 3 weeks before you make the transplant.
And obviously you want to do it as quickly as possible to start the rehab clock. Dexter Fowler with 1 out, and he takes a strike. This is by far the best outing of the year for Joe Saunders. Again, he came in with an 0-5 record, an ERA of 5.02. Up the middle, and Drew comes up with it. Pretty play, 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Cargo a single in the third. He's 1 for 3. Saunders is mixed at curveball and occasional slider, very well with spotting his fastball.
And he's also taken a lot more off that curveball than what he normally will throw it at.
Cargo right now trying to tie up the baseball game, but there's nobody on base.
Yeah, and that's something he has to understand, that Saunders is just going to keep feeding that if he's going to keep swinging at it. And I made the statement in the first game, you can't put a good swing on a bad pitch. Well, there's 2 bad pitches. The first 2 to Carlos, so instead of sitting 2-0, he's 0-2. Now, of course, he's 1-2 now. But the favor still is for the pitcher.
Count remains 1-2. Saunders was much better in his last outing against Atlanta, run in 6 innings. But today clearly has been his best show.
And still, his next pitch is only going to be his 99th.
Here's the 2-2. And he strikes out Gonzalez for the 2nd time in the game. And the Rockies' top of the order goes 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. 5-2 Diamondbacks. Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards Unlimited reward seats and no blackout dates. Rockies trailing 5-2 at Coors Field at the top of the 9th inning of Game 2. They won the opener 12-4. Coming up afterward, the postgame show presented by Toyota. Tom Helmer has a preview. Tom?
Drew, we're going to talk about one if by air, a couple solo home runs. They've had a lot of solo home runs this season. They got to get some more guys on base. We'll break down those numbers for you. We'll talk about Kelly Ripa, not the morning talk show star, but Kelly Johnson, who's ripped a couple hits, a home run, drove in a run on a double, and of course we'll get you into the clubhouse. And I don't know, maybe Kelly Ripa will have us on someday. Maybe when we go to New York to play the Yankees. You think? Do you think she knows who we are?
Only if Regis is there too.
I can do some Regis filming too. Maybe I could co-host.
Well, we'll see if we can work that out for
First
you.
game, there's offense. Second game, nothing. Bam. No, is that not a good Regis filming?
We'll send that little clip there. We will send to them, and we'll let you know.
Kelly
right?
Ripa does not watch baseball. She'll never know who we are, but you never know. We aspire someday, maybe.
I'd like to do our best Kelly Ripa up here, but we just don't have it.
I'd like to see some line drives ripping out into the outfield in the bottom of this 9th inning for a comeback victory.
Ball 1 from Matt Lindstrom, who's going to throw the 9th inning. Justin Upton getting his first at bat, just inserted defensively last inning. Upton not getting the start against Chacin because he was 0 for 10 with 8 strikeouts. He doesn't sit out many.
Well, he's that horse for the Diamondbacks. He, Stephen Drew, two of the guys that you see at the end of the year will be up into the 150s as far as games played.
Yeah, and Chris Young.
And Chris Young, yes.
2 balls and a strike.
Well, Matt Lindstrom was up and throwing in the first ball game when the game was still relatively close before the Rockies threw a 5 spot up into the 7th inning, and he sat back down and gave way to Matt Daly.
That just has 3 and 1. Upton has played along with Chris Young in every game this year. They're the only 2 Diamondbacks who can make that claim. Quick bat, fouls off the 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
We always like to see the power arms, the guys that throw hard against a power swing, and Justin Upton has a power swing. Some of the beauty in baseball. Power versus power. Who wins?
Ball 4. Third time in this game, the Rockies have walked the leadoff hitter.
Really tough to tell from that 4th strike zone whether it caught it or not. What I can tell you is if you're traveling, you can subscribe to MLB.tv to see every Rockies game on your computer and or favorite devices, iPad, iPhones, Droids. Visit ColoradoRockies.com to order yours today.
Gerardo Parra at the plate. Upton can run at first.
Well, 5 stolen bases for Upton. High leg kick from Matt Lindstrom.
One and one. Rockies are going to face the staff ace tomorrow night in Ian Kennedy. Jason Hamill will go for Colorado. Good pitch. See who's getting the start Thursday night for Arizona?
Micah Owings.
Micah Owings in his 2nd tour with Arizona, who oftentimes has made a bigger splash with his bat.
But remember in spring training they were talking about Micah possibly making the team as a backup first baseman, a guy off the bench, a long man in the bullpen.
There was that conversation, and it reminded me of what Milwaukee did a few years back. Swung on and missed. I'm trying to remember. Oh man, with a K. You know what? I got to turn to the Cowboys.
He just walked out.
Brooks Keichner. I just thought of it. Brooks Keichner. This guy could really swing the bat, and they used him out of the bullpen. They would use him to pinch hit strategically. I think Ned Yost was his manager, if I remember right. Strategically, they'd use him sometimes. All right, you're going to hit and stay, and then face the next 2 hitters, first 2 hitters of the next inning, that kind of thing. Now Saunders is done. Willie Bloomquist, without a cup on his head, is now pinch hitting. If you're wondering what we're talking about, he spent the first 2 innings of this game. Somebody had played a prank on him. He had a cup on the top of his head with bubble gum underneath. So there he is, wandering around, having a good time early in the baseball game.
It's always early in the games when guys will do that because you have to start focusing later on.
The Rockies will see J.J. Putz in the bottom of the ninth.
I'm going to say Willie choked up on the bat just a little bit with the 95, 96 mile an hour fastballs coming from Lindstrom.
Ground ball to third. Double play. Nice stretch by Wigginton. They got a fast man on the 5-4-3 turn. Started by Jose Lopez. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Rockies need to rally, down by 3. You ever wonder who the starting pitcher is in the afternoon, or perhaps Jason Giambi will be in the lineup? We'll let you know at the Root Sports Red Alerts. Text the word alerts to 720-720 to get a Rockies update straight to your phone. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Rockies trailing 5-2. The rally caps are out in many different forms and fashions. J.J. Putz, who's 12 for 12, saving ball games for Arizona. One of the reasons the Diamondbacks have a chance to reach 500 again has been the work of the veteran, the former Mariner, Met, and White Sox, J.J. Putz.
A 7-year veteran at the major league level. Doesn't throw as hard as he did back when he was with the Seattle Mariners. He used to bring it 97, 98 miles an hour. But has a better idea of how to pitch now than he used to.
Joe Saunders goes 8 innings, gives up 2 solo home runs among the 6 hits he allowed, a walk and 4 strikeouts. Kept the Rockies off balance. Here's the 0-1 on Tulowitzki, and a ground ball to third. Roberts throws out Tulowitzki, 1 out. Troy 0 for 4, game 2. Pinch hitting is Jonathan Herrera. This is the pitcher spot, formerly occupied by Giambi.
Still no word if there was something wrong with Jason. Hopefully we'll find out in the post-game show.
Yep, absolutely. See if Johnny can reach. He started in game 1. He went 1 for 5. Also reached on an error. Scored a couple runs, drove in a run.
And you still have Todd Helton and Seth Smith from the left side. You get a couple guys on.
Well, that's the key, getting a couple guys on against Putz. 2-strike count on Herrera.
For 2 in a limited role, pinch hitting for Jonathan. Will elevate the fastball.
Well, Florida's taken a 2-0 lead in the third inning on Matt Cain and the Giants. Is that 3-0 now?
3-0 now. Most of the time after they elevate a fastball, they try to bury a breaking pitch.
Like that. Boy, that's
especially pitching 101.
Hard in, soft away. Same
yes,
theory, huh?
Same theory on that side. And that was a split finger from JJ.
Hard on the ground. Nice play by Roberts. That's why Ryan Roberts is so valuable. We've seen him at second. We've seen him in left field and now third base all on the same day.
Now you understand why some people were saying he's the early MVP of their ball club, to be able to change positions, to go over to play second base, start in the outfield, go to third base late in the ball game for defense.
2 outs, nobody on. Wigginton, who homered in his last at bat, to right field. He'll try to reach against Put. Spielborg on deck. On the ground to short. Drew has it. And despite the low throw, it's a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Putz has his 13th save. Joe Saunders has his first victory of the year. Yoeli Chassin takes the loss. He drops to 5-3, and the Rockies get a push on the afternoon. A double dip with Arizona. The Rockies win the first, but fall in the nightcap 5-2. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. And a 3-run inning in the sixth, including 3 doubles for Arizona. The last one off the bat of Miguel Montero. So the Rockies enjoyed the afternoon immensely. Not so much once the lights came on for the evening affair. 5-2 Arizona. Stick around. The Toyota postgame show is next.